Ready, hot!
You're watching OU Football with Jason Kersey. I'm Mike Sherman, and we're talking about the latest bit of bad news regarding OU's offensive line. Jason, today, Tyler Evans, injured, has an MRI. Do we know the results, and do we know what the impact is going to be on the Sooners?
Well, we don't know the results yet, but the impact of this is going to be pretty severe. You know, we had last week, or 2 weeks ago on Big 12 Media Days, the offensive line was a very big strength that they were talking about coming back, maybe the strongest unit, maybe on the whole team. And then last week's news that Ben Habern had decided to end his career due to a neck injury. And then today we show up for practice and Tyler Evans is on crutches. So they've been boasting 102 returning starts on the offensive line, and now they've lost 59 of them if this MRI comes back negative. And, you know, I didn't get the sense that they felt real great about it.
Cut in half the number of starts on the offensive line. Ben Habern, the center, Tyler Evans, the guard. Now what do the Sooners do? What are the moves or the counter moves that Bob Stoops and Coach Patton have to do?
Well, the first thing they had to do was put Gabe Eichert back at center. He did a fine job last year in that position, and he's really kind of a natural there. I think his body size and his strengths really served that well, and his intelligence and knowledge of the offense in that hurry up. He can get to the line of scrimmage and make his reads quickly and do what the center has to do in that offense. So I think that's going to be okay. Adam Shedd comes in for Gabe Eichert just like he did last year and played really well. So when that happened, it just was more of a matter of depth, I think. I think you don't want to lose Ben Habern, but you know, they could afford a loss on the line then. But then today you find out Tyler Evans is out too, and that really starts to become a concern. Bronson Irwin moves in at the other guard. And so, you know, it went from being a very clear strength to now a little bit of a question mark, and mainly because of depth.
So the primary unit, as you said, the strongest unit on the team now becomes what? I mean, is it replaced wide receivers as the chief concern for the OU offense, especially considered Justin Brown from Penn State is joining the Sooners?
I don't think so yet. I mean, I think that the issue is depth. It's not talent. I think that they feel fine with the guys that they have up there, especially with Eichert and Shedd. And Bronson Irwin's a guy who I think they feel solid about. But you know, last week they also lost Dylan Dismuke, who's a big, true redshirt freshman with a lot of potential. So I think it's just a little bit scary to lose that many guys. But the wide receiver position, the lack of experience there, and just the real question marks, because you just don't know how those guys are going to play with Landry Jones. But the linemen, we pretty much know how they're going to play. The main thing is they just have to stay healthy.
Finally, Jason, you talked about Bronson Irwin as a likely candidate to step up and start. Bronson, a kid from Mustang, Oklahoma, and an all-stater for the Oklahoman a couple years ago. But who are some other names that we're going to see sort of in play, maybe changing positions or moving in, or just what are some of the guys that are sort of off the radar you think might bubble up and be part of the solution?
Well, we've heard a lot about Nathan Hughes moving from defensive end over onto the offensive line, and that's actually that's the second defensive end that they've had move over to offense, which is kind of interesting. That I think tells you how strongly they feel about their defensive ends. And then you have the guys with health concerns. Austin Woods, he's been cleared, although today he practiced and then had to go straight to chemotherapy. So he's still fighting through that Hodgkin's lymphoma, but I think that he's a guy that is still going to be the field goal snapper and maybe could see some snaps on the offensive line.
Thanks, Jason. That's all for OU Football with Jason Kersey, but you can stay with the best coverage team anywhere, every day at News OK and every morning in the Oklahoma.